This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts.
Cover! We got a new world champion!
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts and 3 Counts is the podcast, baby! It's the real deal, baby!
Knockouts and 3 Counts starts now.
Ooh, what up, though? It is another Tuesday. I'm already ready to go. And if that motherfucker is listening, when I see you in the streets, it's on time to go, bitch. It is Knockouts and 3 Counts. We are here. I survived another day of slinging the mail, and I still got a belt around my fucking shoulder, and I'm $200 richer. So everybody that wants to bitch about the Royal Rumble, fuck you. But
Sorry. He's coming in hot tonight, ain't he?
Hey, man, it is what it is. Some days it be like that. What up, though, Donald? I appreciate you tuning in, homie. You said you got some hard-hitting questions. I hope those questions get asked because we ain't scared in this bitch because somebody told me Uncle Chase has got some shit to say.
What?
Yeah, without any further ado. Oh, shit. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. You're right because I won $200. You damn right, and I got a belt. It's even cooler than my real belt because I won that bitch. But anyways, we are here. This is another episode of Knockouts and 3 Counts. Obviously, you've got the return of Uncle Chase, who told us that he's got some shit that he needs to say that we'll get to in a little bit. But before we get to that, how the fuck you doing, man? It's been a minute. How the hell's everything there? Is your Medicare all right? What's going on in the world of Uncle Chase?
I really appreciate you.
AARP card came in.
Yep. You know, now I'm living big. It's tax time. We're doing it all around here, bro. You know what kind of stuff senior
You even
citizens
got
get.
fans in the comment section already. Look at you.
You look like you got some work done, man. Something. You look a little younger these days.
Yep. It's a filter. It's a
Yeah,
filter.
right.
My nephew taught me how to do a filter finally. It's been a couple of years, but I'm ready, bro. I'm ready to look like Corey.
The reverse age effect.
Yep.
I wish
you
I
go.
was that lucky. The 30s are coming on strong.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Who you telling?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I've seen what little bit of hair you got left, and here's the problem. If you tried to grow your hair out like Corey, the only thing I can picture in my head right now would be the guy from Scary Movie 3. Strong hand. He's got the strong hand. That's the only thing I can see coming with this one.
Is this coming from Kyle himself?
Please do. I don't give a shit. What are you going to use? Christmas Story? Jerry Maguire?
Kyle tonight.
Gosh.
Somebody needs to take Kyle's mic away tonight. He is hot tonight.
He coming in hot today.
Jeez.
Hell yeah. Put me back on camera. See what happens. Fuck around. Find out. Just kidding.
Oh my gosh. I guess I'm playing the straight man today. I'm something
Fuck around,
new.
find
Wow.
out.
You guys got to get up to Mr. Chainsaw and see Uncle Chase.
You guys really do got to come up to Mr. Chainsaw for real. It's a different environment. It's nothing like any show downriver. It's incredible for real.
Well, let's start there then, dude. I mean, I was seeing, what's been going on in the world of Uncle Chase, but I mean, I've been seeing you a little bit up here at Mr. Chainsaw Pro. Let us know how you're feeling about the kind people over there, and what do you got in store for the next Mr. Chainsaw show?
I know I'm booked, so that's a start.
That's a plus. That's a great place to start.
That's always a great start.
I know I'm always shilling these guys, but really, like, Mike does the best job. Mikey does amazing. There's ran by 2 guys named Mike Z, which is incredible. But these guys really take care of the boys. They take care of the fans. There's different styles on the shows. There's me. There's like big brutes, men hitting men. I don't know what to say right now. They have every kind of style. And you're not going to see guys that are, the same guys that are downriver. He brings in people from different states. We're trying to put on a product for IWTV. It's really professional. The fans are really knowledgeable, and I'm on a winning streak right now. So I'm just gonna shill it all day. Let's go.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about. We like win streaks out here. Jerry Vagana, taking them badass pictures for me with them new knockouts and 3 count shirts, which if you haven't gotten one of those motherfuckers, we got a few of them left. So slide in them DMs and get you a motherfucking shirt. But Jerry's saying he's a big fan of Mike Z. Hey, man, I've never heard anything bad really said about, Mikey Zero, but I'm very aware of what that championship is. He's got the BCWA Alliance Championship, which Corey needs to stop being a hoe and come check out BCWA when they
Should I get all my plugs out of the way? I'll do them really quick.
I mean,
Plug
fire away.
Okay, so Uncle Chase, listen, I was fed up. I'm tired of BCWA not running shows. I got this beautiful title. I said, I'm going to take it into my hands. This is 100% true. Did not ask Mike, did not ask the bookers, nothing. I said, I'm going to go defend my title. Who wants to see it? And I got plenty of people to hit me up. So I will be in Capital Pro this Saturday. I've never wrestled in Lansing before, so that will be awesome. I'm debuting there. I'll be putting the title on the line. You already know what it is. I'm going to be traveling around defending the title. In March, I am wrestling Blake 182. It's a big first-time matchup, and I will be defending my alliance title at a new promotion called Digital Wrestling Alliance. So it's just another alliance. We're all aligning. You know what I'm saying? So that's in March 18th. The next day, BCWA will be coming back. I'm announcing it here. March 19th, BCWA will be back in Wyandotte, and I will be defending my title, of course. And also March 4th, I'll be at Mr. Chainsaw. So those are my dates for March and this weekend. Get all my plugs out of the way.
Well, are you going to Mania or what?
No, I'm not saying nothing about Mania right now.
Motherfucker. All right. Well, damn, I was hoping I was going to get lucky and Uncle Chase was coming to the party with us in Dallas, especially since I'm even dragging Devin's ass to WrestleMania. So
I miss you, Devin.
Bro,
Missed you.
Do you know this fucker tried to turn down a free ticket to WrestleMania? It's like, if I'm giving you the face value on that ticket's about $500.
Yeah, it's called having values, bro. He doesn't want to go.
No, he said it himself.
Hey,
he's coming. He's going to be in the building with us in Dallas. He said, bro, I couldn't pass up a free WrestleMania. Even Kellen them told him he needed to go. So Devin will be in the building with me at Jerry World.
He better
come WrestleMania. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you.
My kid's birthday to try to make that shit.
I'm going to just be honest, bro. The main reason I'm excited that we're going to be there is just to hear that Stone Cold pop with 100,000 people in that motherfucker is going to be insane. But just saying,
lose your mind, dude.
As a Stone Cold mark, I will be in nerd heaven for a day. But with that being said, we were talking about all the different places that you have got to get to. It's good to hear that BCWA is coming back and you're going to be defending that title in March. Maybe I know J-Bone will be there. I'll have to drag Corey out for this one.
Yes.
You'll also see us if you're in the Taylor area next week, because we're also going to be joined by a fellow BCWA standout and a guy who we found and discovered at BCWA. The Dread King Logan will be joining us soon before he takes on past guest of the motherfucking show, the last real man, Silas Young. Which, if we got any Ring of Honor fans in here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I mean, we got Shane Taylor, you got Mike Bennett, you got Silas Young. You never know who the hell's going to be in the other end of that Zoom box.
And for anybody who didn't check out that interview with Silas, that was a pretty solid one, man. I highly recommend going back and checking that one out.
Hey, man, like I said, I had fun with that one. Another one on the list for me is Josh Woods with the big feud that he had with that dude. I definitely would like to see him on Knockouts and 3 Counts at some point. Donald in the comments. To hell with Dallas. The real party's in Jersey. I don't know, man. I don't know, because even if you don't want to go for WrestleMania, like all the shows that are down there and that every fucking buddy is down there, dude, it's like a party for like 4 days straight. Because I'm going down there with Megaran. He'll be with me Thursday and Friday. He's got to fly to New Orleans, so he's missing night 1. Devin and I will go to WrestleMania, and then there's night 2 at WrestleMania. And right now we're debating on whether we're going to end up at Raw the night after. So who the fuck knows where I'm going to end up in Texas? Hell, I'm supposed to work out with PCO when I get down there. So I might get electrocuted to death.
God.
I don't know, dude. who knows if I make it back from Texas. I might be calling the boss this time, not telling him I got caught in a snowstorm. But hell, I worked out with a past guest of the show, and I was trying to work on my fitness, and I don't know, some shit happened. But anyways, before we get into talking about Super Bowl picks and all that kind of shit, you said you had some shit you want to say, and it's funny because who else has got a lot of shit to say with all this Super Bowl talk? I don't know if you guys been paying attention, dude. All the shit talk that I keep seeing on people trying to shit on Stafford already, talking about if he loses this, because I've already been seeing it all over like Sports Center, because they're saying essentially that if Stafford doesn't win this Super Bowl, that it basically negates like his legacy at that point. I was
because it's his first year with a new team that he already led to the Super Bowl. If he doesn't win,
I'm just saying that's
relevant.
What I'm saying here, motherfuckers.
That's a neat opinion.
I mean, I'm just saying because I find it very hard to shit on anything that guy did this year, being the fact that he went from the Lions. I mean, I'm from Detroit. I like the Lions, but let's be honest. The Lions ruined fucking Barry and Calvin Johnson, and they almost ruined Stafford, but he might get lucky and get out. So, I don't know, man.
I mean, if you simply look roster for roster, right? Like I could see not necessarily why somebody would have that opinion, but why they would be of the opinion that the Rams should be the team that wins, right? Like if you just look position for position, there's so many more star level players and top level guys on the Rams than there is on Cincinnati. The whole thing it boils down to is Cincinnati's been playing like a team. They've been playing like a team since like week 13. They've been just running through teams ever since, man. And it's so great to watch these two teams kind of come into the Super Bowl. The Rams, very deserving because of all of which I had just said. They have a ton of talent on both sides of the ball. But the thing is, they didn't have that hot streak going. They've actually had some rough and tough games throughout the playoffs, and they made it here a lot of times by the grit of their teeth. And with the high-level star talent that they do have, you may expect more out of some of these guys. And it's such an interesting matchup because of the simple fact it is kind of like a Madden. We'll use like Madden ratings, right? One of them's a sophomore team or sophomore quarterback with a rookie wide receiver that's their leading receiver, and the defense has been good, but they haven't been like crazy except for recent in the playoffs. And their Madden rating would be probably like an 85 or something, maybe. You look at the Rams, they're like a 95 level team. Like they have stars on both sides of the ball. They're just a more should be the winning team, but momentum's such a big thing in football. And it's really how much is going to carry over, especially after this 2-week layoff, going into the Super Bowl. It's going to be interesting, man.
So who the fuck you picking? You did all that wide-winded shit. Who's going to win the damn Super Bowl?
I love my boy Stafford. I do, but I almost wore my old dusty biscuit of a Cincinnati Reds hat just for that.
Jay
reason.
Wiggs, how you feeling about me taking that 200 off you, homie? I appreciate you at the Royal Rumble. Hot damn it.
Is that the Wiggs himself?
The Wiggs, yeah.
Oh my gosh, very famous. What up, though?
Donald's got something to say about his thoughts on this. The Chiefs are imploding and never addressed online problems, and Cincy's defense kept pressure on him and took Tyreek out the game with a safety over the top, was giving them short routes and stuff up the middle.
Yeah,
okay. So
the fact that they kept him scoreless in the second half, and with such a deficit going into the second half, that the offense was able to turn that around as well. It was, I mean, you couldn't ask for a more complete second half out of a team, especially one that ended up working in.
Well, I mean, dude, they scored 24 unanswered.
That's my point exactly. And if I'm not mistaken, not a single one of those points were defensive points. That was all stops on defense, force a punt, and then the offense taking the ball over and doing something with that.
Big money Joey B.
Hell yeah. Big Money Joe got that cigar in his mouth. Hey, all of you guys over here, if you got cigars in your mouth, make sure you let us know where you're watching from. Hit that like button, all that shit, subscribe button, share button, all the buttons. And drop a comment. Who do you guys think is going to win a Super Bowl? I want to know some consensus here.
You're telling me there's a football game at this concert on Sunday?
I mean, yeah, I mean, shit, let's just hope they don't put the speakers behind the guys who are doing the post game again.
Hey, man, Dr. Dre's going to be in the house. That's what I'm excited for.
Dre and Eminem are going to be dope. Like, I'm not
Dre and that guy from Michigan.
Yeah, I heard he likes his mom's spaghetti. I mean, I heard.
I'm still very much. Have any of you guys tried said mom spaghetti?
I have not gotten to try it. I saw the building, but I didn't get to try it or anything. So I've yet to try mom spaghetti. As far as this, go ahead.
I seen the nod, Uncle Chase. Was that a yes? As in, I have tried it. And I need a quick summary. No.
He just shook his head. No. Anybody in the comments tried mom spaghetti? Let us know your thoughts on the spaghetti. Because I mean, I for one am a big fan of the spaghetti. I'm a big fan of spaghetti. Okay, so it really is disappointing to hear that mom spaghetti is not real good. Because see, my mom's spaghetti, who I know she can hear me in the other room, my mom's spaghetti is actually off the hook. So I'm down with eating some mom spaghetti. I'm just saying.
Sketty.
All right, Donald says he's rolling with the Rams. He says the Rams, man, Stafford has something to prove, and since he can't stop OBJ and Connor Kupp, I like it, dude. All right, well, for me, if we're talking about betting money, I'm going with Stafford and the Rams. But I'm gonna say this right here, right now, so I can be quoted on the show. You heard me say this. As far as my mind on who I think is going to win, I totally think it's going to be the Rams. But I'm telling you, momentum is a motherfucker. And Cincy by far has the momentum because the way they won against the Chiefs when the Chiefs had them, basically, that would have been a blowout if we were playing Madden, pretty much. That would have been like 21
You may have considered tapping at that point, yeah.
Fuck yeah, you would almost quit. And these motherfuckers not only kept playing, they won the damn thing. So I'm going to be honest, bro. I'm not counting Cincy out of shit. I'm being honest with you. I'm not counting Cincy out of shit. But if you ask me who I think's going to win, I think it's going to be the Rams because I think they got too much firepower. That being said, Stafford better not pull no more shit like he did against the 49ers and pull an old Detroit Lions move and having a 20-point lead, and y'all motherfuckers still had to win by a field goal because y'all let them come back. I feel like if you do that against Cincinnati with the momentum that they have right now, dude, like I said, it's for me, I think it's the Rams, but I tell you this game, I'm definitely I'm just intrigued to see how the hell it goes down. I mean, and hey, shout out to our boy Whip, man. I saw you're out there doing things with the homie Freddie Henderson. Hey man, like I said, stay tuned. You might see a few things from knockouts and 3 counts. But anyways, we've talked about Chase's dates. We've talked about Super Bowl. You know, J-Bone, you still have yet to make your pick. Who's it going to be? You're going Stafford?
Look, man, I'm just hoping for a good game, a good football game, and all that stuff. Halftime show is going to be awesome. Dude, it's so hard for me. It's really hard. It's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Is it though? It
is. I'm taking the Bengals.
All right, I'm done. Nice seeing you guys. Nice seeing you guys.
I'm sorry, Detroit. I'm sorry, Stafford, but Joey B, man.
You ain't going with the Detroit Rams? What the fuck?
The Detroit Rams.
I'll be totally okay if they win it. Don't get me wrong, but like you said, man, the Bengals, there's something about them. They're coming in red hot, dude. They got all the momentum they need, man. They've been knocking those. They've been the underdog the whole time, and they just keep knocking them out. Sorry, bro.
I'm gonna knock you out.
I gotta take my hat off.
Over there,
trash, bro.
Traitor ass some bitch.
Traitor. It's all about the Detroit Rams, dog. It's all about
Detroit Rams. Hey man, it is bad. How shitty does it gotta feel for Detroit? The fact that there's already like people making actual shirts that say like the Detroit Rams, like clothing brands. Like, how shitty do you gotta feel that our sports team sucks so bad that we gotta be happy about our quarterback going somewhere else? and
I don't
winning a
feel
motherfucking
shitty.
Super.
I already knew what it is. We already know what it is around here. We take.
Oh, we
pride
know
in
what it
being
is, but I mean that's a whole nother level when they start making shirts.
We take pride in
Detroit
being the
Rams.
worst franchise in sports history. Okay.
No, I'm just gonna
pride in
take.
that shit.
I'm gonna take whatever I can get. You know, a bad blowjob is still a blowjob. So let's just
Valid
go.
point. At least we're a city with a team. Damn it, right?
True.
At least we're not St. Louis.
True. This is
True. But yeah, man, I hope Stafford gets him one, but I really wouldn't be mad. We know who our homie Chris Cale from Five Finger Death Punch is going with. He was just running around in the Cincinnati end zone the other day. Hey, that being said, if you didn't get to check out that interview, I highly recommend it. He told me about crackheads hitting his bike on the road and gave me like the grand tour of his house and shit. And I don't know, man, you might want to check that out. But all right, what other shit do I got on this rundown for us to talk about? All right, let's get into some of the news that we got here. Wait a minute. Uncle Chase didn't make his pick.
No,
Uncle Chase,
I'm
are you
Detroit.
Stafford?
I think we know who he's going with.
We're good. Yeah, I'm not a
We're
traitor.
good. He's going Stafford.
I'm a man of morals.
All right. Well, I got some topics for us to talk about on the wrestling end, and I'd love to hear your gentlemen's thoughts on these things. So, obviously, for anybody else that's been paying attention to any degree, we've got Blood Money in the Sand, this time called Elimination Chamber. So, I'm just saying. But the Elimination Chamber itself looks pretty cool, but at the same time, I just don't know how I feel about it for the simple fact that if it goes the way I think it's going to go and Brock wins, then that just shits all over Bobby Lashley for the most part. So I don't know how I feel about that. I like the fact that Lita is going to be coming back to go for that. Like I said, Lita was like my first crush as a kid. So yeah, I'm totally cool with seeing Lita back on my TV screen. You know, like Becky Lynch said, she had her tongue out because of one Miss Lita. But how are you guys feeling about Elimination Chamber and the fact that not only are we doing it still this close to WrestleMania, but it's also going to be the big Blood Money in the Sand extravaganza?
My thoughts.
Whoever wants to go first
is like you had kind of led up to in your short description in the beginning is if it doesn't play out the way we kind of all expect it to, which seems to be a very common theme as of late. And I feel that's especially with it being so close to Mania and stuff. I mean, what do you expect? They're going to blow all the matchups that they have built for the last couple months up to, you know, like there may still be entertaining stuff that is presented, but it's not, I don't see them planning bombs and, you know, blowing up their towers that they've worked so hard to build, you know.
Whoa.
This is what a show we're having, man.
Yeah, we're killing it.
We're having.
I agree with you, Corey. I don't know why every time I come on here, it's before one of these damn Saudi Arabia shows, and I have nothing good to say about this.
Hey, man, my thing is like, okay, so here's the other thing that gets me about this. In a way, especially with how much he's changed since the last time they did this, the other thing that gets me, and I would love to hear Chase and J-Bone, you have probably more of an opinion on this one first and foremost, but when you look at the title match that they're going to have there outside of the Elimination Chamber, WWE has proven that with all the people that they've let go, both on the men's side, the women's side, all that shit, how bad it's obviously depleted their roster. Now you've got it to a point where, granted, from what all accounts, it looks like he's only got about another match or two on his contract. It's gotten to the point where the last few years, we almost know if they're going to Saudi that fucking Goldberg's got to come back. So what are your thoughts on this Goldberg versus Roman Reigns thing? While I think it could be a little bit better match this time because it's a different Roman Reigns, I hate to say it because I loved Goldberg as a kid, dude. But, I mean, are we at the point where, you know, he needs to go away for a little bit? And if this really is the last match on his contract, do you think anybody else picks him up, or do you think this is the end of the line?
Ooh.
Who's going first on this? I feel like we're building the hate for him towards me. Uncle Chase hates every time I talk trash about Goldberg.
He's a
the last time, the last time you had a Goldberg mask on the show and I was talking trash and you hated me for it. I get hate texts, emails, blocked on Twitter, all that stuff. No, I'm kidding. But no, honestly,
make sure you're following us on Twitter at KO3C
Dude, Goldberg don't do nothing for me anymore. That's just, I honestly, to be completely honest, I was one of those kids that didn't like Goldberg as a kid anyway. Didn't care for the guy. Honestly, what I hope happens this time, I hope they just build the star that is Roman Reigns, and I hope Roman goes out there and squashes this dude quickly, like Goldberg did his opponents before. How do you build a star going into WrestleMania? Make him look better. Let's build Roman Reigns. That's what I hope happens.
Chase, what do you think?
I think that the guy who wins is going to hit a spear. I think there's going to be.
If the over-under is how many spears we get in this match, how many are we getting?
Oh, we're getting a solid 4 for sure.
The over-under solid 4 being 3.5.
Yeah, oh, we're getting 4 for sure because they're both going to hit 2. And
Donald, why are you pissing people off on Twitter, dog? What the fuck?
How could you ever block such a sweet man who makes a great pizza de pie like Donald Holland himself? I would never.
They're bastards, I tell you, bastards.
Trash.
But God, I don't know, man. Like I said, it's with Goldberg at this point, dude. It's basically, I mean, he's coming out at this point. I mean, I had no problem with it for the sense that he wanted to wrestle so that his son could see him wrestle and all these things. But like, this just, to me, just highlights the bigger issue at this point, and that's that obviously anyone with eyes can see they've let go of so many people at this point. Like, their roster is just fucking depleted at this point. Like, it doesn't matter whether you're looking at guys, girls. I mean, it's fucking depleted.
Yeah,
and maybe, you can't. Go ahead.
Maybe I just look at that whole, like, I wanted to wrestle in front of my kids thing different because I had my kids relatively young. But, like, if you wanted to wrestle, if you wanted your kids to watch you wrestle, why didn't you have your kids, like, when you were of wrestling?
Because they were on the road, fool.
Why, like you were starting to allude to, why take up a potential big, like, high spotlight match that you could use that to build somebody else and build the hype around somebody else? And here's, Goldberg, who's, been doing this forever, which there's a reason why they hang, the jerseys and the numbers up of people in the rafters and don't still have them out there playing.
Okay, so is what you're saying is if Goldberg gets smashed at Elimination Chamber, are you saying that you think that if he gets smashed with this being rumored to be his last match on his contract, are you saying that you think that this is going to be the end of us seeing Goldberg?
I mean, I had alluded to it last time, and like J-Bone says, I don't want to smash on him because when I was watching wrestling when I was younger, I thought he was a solid wrestler. He may not have been like my favorite by any means, but I thought he was solid, and he's had an outstanding career just by longevity's sake alone. But at this point, there's you could do better. You could do better with the matchup, and that's what it kind of boils down to in my eyes.
Well, let me tie this all together, and I mean, I guess that gets to the other point that I was bringing up. If you have listened to the show for any long, length of time, you've heard me talk about this on multiple occasions. I, for one, here, and this is what is so perplexing to me when it comes to this Elimination Chamber, because you've got Bobby in there as champ. You put Brock Lesnar in there, and Brock is not going to go in there and just get the dog shit kicked out of him. He's probably going to kick the shit out of all 6 of them before it's all said and done, even if he does lose. My thing is if, say, Brock just goes in there and smashes everybody, well, then that makes Bobby Lashley look like shit. At the same time, this leads to my other question. I'm not going to lie. Part of me almost wants Brock to win because I would be so happy if they just unified the titles again.
Yeah.
I would really like to see them unify the titles again. I feel like that would make your champion legit again. It would eliminate the problem of being like this show's champion is less than this show's champion. I don't know. I've always been more of a fan of the unified champion. So I guess the question I'm asking here is, with that being said, and what we said about what could happen in Elimination Chamber, do you guys want to see them unify the titles at WrestleMania?
I mean, definitely, because I feel like it opens up so much broader scale of matchups, and they haven't had so much success with Raw as of late. I mean, it's been well noted, and I don't think they need to switch up a ton, like with the time slots or anything like that. They just need to be able to open up the broader scheme of matchups so that the fans that are tuning in have a genuine curiosity about what they may end up seeing that night. And I feel like that's what a lot of has been lacking from fans, from what I've heard from everybody who's described it, is just a lack of creativity and a lack of buzz and generating the hype about it. And I feel like what better way than to just always be the chance of a possible fresh matchup or something big that, crosses the border, I guess you could say.
I'm with you, Donald. I wouldn't have been mad seeing it be Big E either, because it's a bummer to me that his singles run just came to a fucking halt. Because, I mean, at this point, clear they've made it. He's going to be back with the New Day. And
before I jump off to somebody else from their point, the way this match goes, I'm almost willing to bet money on it, is relatively to the same way the one went at Rumble, but vice versa. It's going to be semi-entertaining throughout the...
Well, you got to remember, Corey, it's an Elimination Chamber, too. That's a whole nother...
Well, it's going to be entertaining throughout the 15 or so minutes, and then it may end up going to some type of disqualification where Brock walks away with the belt.
There is no disqualification in an Elimination Chamber.
Oh, okay.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's totally different. Do you know how the Elimination Chamber works?
I know shit all of half of the...
They start with 2 guys in a ring, and you got 4 guys in pods, and then is it 5 minutes or 3 minutes?
5 minutes. Yeah.
I think it's every 5 minutes until somebody's in there. Somebody's got to get let go out of the pod, and the whole thing is made out of steel chain and grate and all that shit. So it's like the thing's fucking ginormous.
Plastic. Plexiglass.
Yeah, dude. Like they should have just left
the Bischoff Chamber, bro. This ain't 2002.
Although, have you ever watched any of the documentaries about that? Like about them talking about that match and how they were like, dude, everybody talks about how this new Elimination Chamber looks softer. Well, let me tell you, we got the shit beat out of us in the first one.
Yeah. Look,
hey man,
this is how the chamber is going to play out, man. Everybody, whoever's going to start the match, everybody's going to come in. You're going to have those 4 guys are going to put on a great show, great little fatal 4-way gig for a few minutes. Brock's going to come in, or Lashley. What's going to happen? Brock's going to take a dude. He's going to smash him in front of Lashley. Lashley's going to take a dude, smash him in front of Brock, and they're going to go back and forth until it's just them 2. Then they're going to beat the shit out of each other, and Brock's going to walk away with that title.
Yeah.
With that going, that's my prediction. So clip that. Let's put that on later, because that's what I think is going to happen. Give me the pencil.
Yep.
Hey, man, give him the pencil. But like I said, I'm interested to see how this shit plays out, dude. Elimination Chamber, I agree with you. Like, so when I saw the whole thing set up at WrestleMania a few years ago, I think it was Orlando, and like the thing's still fucking massive to look at. But at the same time, like, although I think it's way better as far as like keeping the guys safe and shit, like it totally looked way more badass back in the day. But I still don't know if I would want motherfuckers throwing me around into that bitch. So that being said, I think I'll take my pass out of the Elimination Chamber on this one. We've talked a little bit about WWE, and we've talked about things that are forbidden and things that are not forbidden. Who is it that you guys think is going to walk through this fucking forbidden door tomorrow on Dynamite?
Shane O'Mac, baby. Let's go.
Hell no.
Let's go, baby. Here comes money.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Dude, he would be like written out of Vince's will and shit if he did that.
That's fine, dude. He knows plenty of wills. It's all good, bro.
Donald says Keith Lee.
Yeah. I think Keith Lee is obviously a big would be a big get, but just the way that they're doing their gimmick, where they're basing it around the Forbidden Door. I wouldn't say Keith Lee has anything to do with the Forbidden Door. He only had a few.
The free agent doesn't have anything to do with the Forbidden Door because he's not signed anywhere.
Right. So I'm thinking more along the lines of maybe like an Okada or like a really big New Japan guy.
He said it was a free agent signing, though. That's the thing.
Oh, really?
He said, Tony, if you go and look at his tweet, I'll pull it up here in a second, but his tweet said it was going to be a free agent signing. That's why, with it being him saying it's a free agent signing, dude. And here's the other thing that kind of goes into why I think it is who I think it is. I think it's going to be Jeff Hardy. Because I'm almost certain it's going to be Jeff Hardy, and here's why.
It be him, though?
What happened?
I thought he had that 90-day no compete till March.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean,
I could be wrong.
Put it this way: they're already signed to show up at Maryland Championship Wrestling or MCW. I think it is. I don't know what the promotion is, but it's already a thing. It says they're going to compete together as a tag team.
Okay.
So, I mean, if they're already going to be allowed to compete there, I'd imagine his thing's got to be done because then, all right, you know how
already has a 90-day no
came up as a 90-day no compete. Right. Usually they have a 90-day no compete. It might not be Jeff Hardy, but I'm telling you, if it doesn't come, then I mean, Matt's talked multiple times about how he wants to have the Hardys have one more last run, and especially now that everything came out that everything they said about Jeff being on drugs was bullshit.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing too. So you accuse the guy of being fucked up on drugs, and then when it comes out that he tested negative for all that shit, now you offer him the Hall of Fame and the Hall of Fame and to come back at the Rumble. Like that's like a slap in the face. I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to be Jeff Hardy.
And then when you bring him in, you ask him to come back for the Hall of Fame, and you don't include Matt in any way, shape, or form. Like, come on, dude. Hardy had a great.
The Hardy
run.
Boys is a team.
Yeah, he had a great solo.
Like one of the best of all time.
The Hardy Boys are a thing. You don't really have one without the other. So it's like, how do you not do? That's just ridiculous to me. Stupid.
Ooh, good call, Donald.
That is a good call. He says it could be Johnny Gargano.
I'd like that. I'd like that a lot.
I'm not a huge. I don't see the need for Gargano in AEW. They have a ton of white dudes who do those moves, like skinny little white guys. But like, no, I'm just being honest. Is he good? Yeah, but like, someone else does his moves, his matches already. There's already the same style people in AEW and plenty of them. So just for me personally, I'm not interested in seeing them, but it's all good.
I'll tell you who I'd like to see. I told you this on the phone the other day, Kyle. I don't know about his contract situation. I know he was released. I don't know if he has a 90-day, but I want to see Samoa Joe in AEW.
Ooh.
That's who I want to see over there. And I don't want to see the WWE version of Samoa Joe. I want to see.
You want to see ROH Samoa Joe?
I want to see ROH Samoa Joe. Very violent.
I mean, does he live anymore? Can he do it? That's another thing.
Look, bro. After what I watched him do growing up, watching FS1 and on Impact and all that shit, Samoa Joe can fuck some people up.
Yes,
and I bet you he still can fuck some people up. And with that being said, shit, you want to talk about it? Hell, I mean, I was listening to Busted Open this morning. Shout out to Dave LaGreca and Ryan McKinnell and all the guys over there. But, I was listening to Busted Open, and EC3 and Adam Scher came on there talking about how he's going to be running his own show. Like, they're doing this whole control the narrative thing. Like, I don't know, man. I don't think that would be a bad spot for some of these guys to line up too, because you see them kind of mixing it up. And here's the funny thing with that too, when you talk about somebody like Gargano, it's funny because it's like the number one thing that I keep hearing when it comes to people leaving, the general consensus is people just seem to be so relieved once they're leaving WWE. So, I mean, this is a time, if any, who the fuck knows where people show up, but I don't know, man. I haven't even really heard any rumors other than people saying that Gargano was going to go to AEW, but I, for one, am a fan of Gargano wherever he lands on that one. I think, like I say, Jeff Hardy's a good choice. Gargano's a good choice. Donald coming in again. Well, it won't be Killer Cross, Braun, or EC3. That was it. Okay, so it was Killer Cross, Braun, and EC3 are starting that control your narrative wrestling. Okay, that's what it was.
It's like a far right promotion. It's like a far right wrestling promotion.
Like legitimately, like
Yeah, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. It's like a far right wrestling promotion. So it's like anyone who's been canceled, bro, will be on this show. Like they're trying to prove that there's money still. Like
the way he explained it this morning, he said one of their big goals is he wanted to put a spotlight on people that needed to have a spotlight on them, because he said he felt like that was one of the major problems that they saw across all companies, is that all of them didn't do a good enough job as far as to making stars within their own company. So they wanted to spotlight guys that they feel like need to have more spotlight on them. Dude, I'm excited to see what Killer Cross does regardless. I was so bummed with the way that Karrion Kross shit went from being badass in NXT to just straight down the hole as soon as he went to the main roster, dude. That was a fucking bummer, dude. I'm not gonna hold you up, dude.
Agreed.
Let's see what else we got here. We already talked Super Bowl. All right. Well, before we switch over to the MMA side of things, what are your guys' thoughts on this Joe Rogan shit? Because I've got a few thoughts on what I think from what I've heard and all these things. But what are your guys' thoughts on this whole Joe Rogan thing and the fact people are trying to cancel him?
It's hilarious to me, and I'm really big into the comedy community. I'm like a little gossip head about that kind of stuff. So one of my favorite things about this situation is how Joe Rogan immediately apologized, and he's really he just sincerely feels sorry about it. But people still feel the need to stand up for him and put all these rights behind what he has to say, but he already said sorry, dude. He doesn't agree with what he said, so it's who are you protecting? It's super weird. Yep. Nothing's going to come of it. Nothing's going to come of it. Except other people making fools of themselves. Joe will be untouched.
I heard that they took down so many episodes, right? Is that's what's going on?
So the thing is, Joe's team actually took those episodes down. That was not Spotify. That was up to Joe. Okay. So just to get that clear, and they've taken off episodes before this. Even when he first went to Spotify, they took off certain episodes. It is what it is when you work for a corporation like that. But I believe in free speech, so it is what it is. But I just really think it's funny people trying to stick up for him when he doesn't stick up for himself. He said it was wrong. So let's just get over it.
I mean, he owned up to his mistake and move on from it, right? I mean, what else are you supposed to do?
Well, and here's the other part that no one wants to talk about. Okay. Again, we've talked about this multiple times on the show. Being someone that's had more black friends than white friends I've had most of my life, I understand where people are getting mad, but I also feel like at a certain point, when you're bringing up shit that this guy said however many years ago, and you're finding these little clips and snippets and all that shit, unless it's something that he still demonstrates today, which I would say I don't see that, unless it's something that he still demonstrates in the things that he's doing today. Okay, maybe are his political views, far one way. Sure, that's fine, but that doesn't make him a fucking racist. And I'm not condoning the fact that he said the N-word, because he was wrong. You're wrong. Well, you shouldn't have said the shit. It was wrong, but he said he shouldn't have said the stuff. That's the thing. It would be different if this all got brought out and he was just like, well, fuck it, I don't care. Fuck him, I'm Joe Rogan. Like that. I don't know, man. I just feel like at a certain point, it's one thing to bring it up and say, yo, you shouldn't have said all this kind of stuff. Sure. But if the guy owns up to it and apologizes about it, I think, at that point, leave the man the fuck alone. And on top of that, all these people are talking about boycott Spotify and all that. I mean, I was listening to MMA Today earlier, and they brought this up, and it was a great point. Hey, for all of you guys joining the stream, we appreciate you guys. Drop it in the comments. What up, though, Cody? I need to know what you think about what we're about to start talking about. Do you feel like with all this shit with Joe Rogan, what are your thoughts on all this talk about whether people need to, whether they need to pull Joe Rogan off a commentary for this big UFC card this weekend? I'm not kidding, dude. I mean, there's people talking about he shouldn't be on commentary.
I mean,
and it's I don't know, man. What are your guys' thoughts on this as we head into UFC 271 this weekend with Izzy and Bobby Knuckles.
The whole commentary thing, because of how deep the roots are with UFC. Unless Joe Rogan decides to cut the ties on that, I don't see anything happening with the UFC on that end. They've had his back throughout multiple different instances in the past. Clearly not as divisive as this one has been, and for good reason. I mean, I didn't get to really state my opinion too much when we were talking about it. Like you guys say, he was clearly in the wrong. It would have been much worse if he was directly insulting somebody or saying it about somebody or even a group of people or whatever the case. But the reason why a lot of those posts were posted out of context is because the context would have cleared up a lot of the situation of why he may have been saying those things. Still not appropriate, still not necessarily taking his side or whatever the case, but conversation is conversation. Like Chase said, I agree with free speech. But you also do have to deal with the consequences when you say dumb shit.
Okay,
so
but I just want to throw in one thing while you say that, though, because somebody else brought this up, and this is the thing that if Spotify does cave in and do this, they're going to look like such hypocrites, and here's why. Because, okay, so if they cancel Joe Rogan because he said that, what about R. Kelly, whose music is still on that motherfucker? What about...
Is it? Wow.
Yes. What about, what about all that kind of shit? People who have been,
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, it would just be a literal never-ending spiral.
Well, right, but that's my whole point, though. If you're going to single out... If you're going to single out one person because somebody doesn't like something they said 20 years ago, then in that vein, you would have to do that with the same shit.
Right, but it's not happening, though. You know what I'm saying? They aren't taking it off. So we can talk about that all the time, but like it's not gonna happen. It's just tweets. Like nothing's actually going to happen.
I don't think so.
I guess my question. Go ahead, Corey.
It shouldn't, because it's like I had seen a statement made from, I believe it was the CEO of Spotify, but he was saying that with somebody of the stature of Joe Rogan and the type of just open conversation that type of show provides, that it would be more of a public disservice to take something like that off the air, just because it's a way to truly have a conversation across all borders. I mean, like, he has people from every direction on there. He has all types of viewpoints, so much has been brought upon the whole COVID thoughts and the whole now race thing and stuff like that. But if for anyone who's ever watched his show, especially if they've watched multiple of them, he covers such a broad category of subjects. Like there may be one or two shows about the same thing in a month, but he'll have 12 shows with completely different guests. Somebody talking about surfing, somebody talking about the stars and astrology, somebody talking about classic history or modern history, or like it literally goes all across the board. And for it to be boiled down to a couple things that happened, over the span of 15 years since he's been doing this show, it's just unfortunate. And I had seen a thing posted that 90, it's just a general statement, but 90+% of the people that are complaining about Joe Rogan have never sat down and listened to an episode for more than 10 seconds. They've never watched more than just a short clip. And
no, we know all about that.
I get it. It's the way that the social media world works, but people are so quick to jump to opinions nowadays without actually knowing the person and what they stand for. And Joe Rogan, yet again, like Chase said, nobody needs to defend him or his character necessarily in this, but when your character's subjected to such a harsh criticism like this, you kind of need to. And he's done everything above board for so many people across all boards. So it's hard to take away from the guy. I get this is a really bad light, but he'll still come through it.
Oh, fuck kind of shit just jumped into my Zoom box.
You already
couldn't get through a whole show with without something crazy
I
happening.
already had the leather daddy hat on.
So does
The
this count as
old-
like
the
a
old
midlife crisis, or
railroad-
in your case, is this like an end of life
I
crisis?
think this is because you were talking about his hair earlier.
Yeah, exactly. I could have luscious locks like this if I wanted to.
Hey, get us a shampoo sponsor.
Corey, this is
Oh yeah, get you that one that Booker T's still been looking for since WrestleMania 18.
There you go.
I just want to say I legitimately actually went to a regular ass business the other day and went to go repair their door, and there was a guy looking just like you right now, Chase. That's who answered the door when I walked up to the shipping door. He legitimately looked like that.
So did you try to get his number?
No, he asked for mine, but I told him I was married, so.
You know, it's fucked up too, because I gave this German girl my number at work the other day, and she never called me back. What the fuck?
Maybe she did. Maybe she was dialing German numbers.
German. Hey man,
Did you include the 1 in front of the 313? Because that might be your issue right there.
Damn it! Now I know why it didn't work. Son of a bitch! If I can't attract crazy ones that want to go to the movies, I give them the wrong number. Fuck! I'm screwing myself before we even get there. But Donald asked the question in the comments, and it goes right along with what we were already talking about. We already heard that they're trying to cancel Joe Rogan. Do either of you guys, J-Bone or Chase, do you know a little bit about what the fuck came out about? What are your thoughts on Brian Kendrick getting his big match with AEW after he gets released and they pulled it with what happened to him on social media? Any thoughts?
That was wild. That was a lot of fun to follow. So, I am a historian of the 2000s indies, and I will tell you that I've seen this footage years and years and years ago, obviously, and this was right after Brian was not with WWE. He was doing his thing. Him and Paul London would do shoot interviews where they would get super high, and they would that was the whole gimmick. They would get super high and they would say crazy shit. So the idea of conspiracies started, the topic of conspiracy started, and they were just saying dumb shit. This is before even streaming. You had to buy the DVD for this one. You just, getting high with your buddies. And he did say some crazy shit. I'm telling you right now, for sure, obviously you shouldn't say this stuff, but in real life, because I lived the life and I know, I bought the DVD, they're just talking crazy nonsense. They're just saying things. They weren't like saying their beliefs or anything. They were playing the characters of, stone dudes who were saying crazy stuff. They were trying to be those guys, especially Brian Kendrick. He doesn't really, I don't believe he actually believes any of that stuff, just based on, owning the DVD and knowing for a fact that this was a character he was playing. But it was funny that it happened because, it doesn't have any effect on me. I thought it was hilarious. And Wheeler Yuta gets the match, and that's my homie too. So I'm happy with it.
Hey man, I'm a big fan of Wheeler Yuta too, but I can't lie, with Kendrick being at WWE for so long, and then for him to come out and then the next day be wrestling at AEW, I was like, that's pretty fucking dope. And then when I saw that shit happen, I'm like, damn, they want to cancel this motherfucker real quick.
Dude,
it was like the quickest turnover ever, dude. Jumping ship.
Oh, well, think about
day.
all the publicity for AEW during those 24 hours. It was like, Brian's gone. AEW's like, no, I'll book him. I got this, and then they got the good publicity for canceling him. Also, they got it all. They got all the good publicity.
Yeah, slippery subjects nowadays.
Yeah, man, you gotta be careful out there.
The life that you live in 2022.
I am very glad I work for myself and provide good service to people, because there's no. It'd be hard to come after your boy. That's all I'm trying to say.
You want to know who was coming after somebody, though, on Sunday? The motherfucking UFC was coming for the homie Josh Fremd, who picked him up a dub over there at FAC on Dana White's looking for a fight that'll be coming to their YouTube real soon. My man's got cut up a little bit and got homie in the rear naked choke. Got that dub right quick. Got the submission win and got picked up and signed to the UFC. So shout out to Josh Fremd. Like I said, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're an MMA fan, because he might just be joining us this Thursday.
Jeez,
fresh off of his UFC signing. So shout out to Josh Fremd and all the guys and the homies over there at Factory X. I was pretty happy to see that shit. There was a lot of good fights on that card. And then I went and watched the Fury FC card and I saw something very different.
Hey,
but,
spoiler for that reality show that I love that you just spoiled the end.
Well, they had advertised all over it. If you love it so much that they were advertising the fights on Fight Pass if you wanted to watch. So
no, I wait for the YouTube show. I wait for the YouTube show.
Well, I mean, he already put out that he got signed by the UFC, so doesn't that let the cat out of the bag?
Not for me, because I don't. Let's just keep going.
Damn it, Chase! See, this is the shit I'm talking about. The shit I'm talking about. He's talking about he's not following our guests, and I'm out here trying to tell people why you need to follow us at KO3C.
I'm doing it
and
right
this
now.
bald and bougie asshole. You know, you can follow him too,
bro. He beats to his own drum. You ain't telling him nothing.
Josh runs that beast, though. Like you had noted, Kyle, that I'm never gonna not call it FAC. It's FAC. What was it like? 18
MMA.
Fighting Alliance Combat, but it will always be known as FAC. That being said, entertaining.
The Uncle Chase is following the right people. Make sure you follow Donald Holland. Uncle Chase is following Donald Holland.
Right. Me and Kyle may not have been able to watch this one together, but we were hanging out in a lovely Xbox party talking about the fights. And that being said, they were entertaining as shit. There was a couple guys.
Dude, Eduardo Dantas might need to go to jail for murder for what he did to that guy. I remember watching Eduardo Dantas when he was still the Bellator champion.
And the fact that he didn't get offered a contract after that shows.
I thought he was getting one for sure, especially with him being a former Bellator champ too.
They were clearly leaning the other direction. That's what that tells me, right?
That means you were brought in to to be a good guy for that guy to beat. Watch, he'll be on the Contender Series.
Yeah, he deserves a spot, right? Like you had noted, former Bellator champ, worked his way out of Bellator and is now working his way throughout the regional.
Look, dude, he caught a fucking body.
UFC deserves it. But that being said, Gildardo at the end. I'm probably saying that wrong. What was the main event winner? I believe it was Gildardo. Something along those lines. I may be pronouncing it wrong. But he looked great in there, yet again, earned a contract for himself as well. He ended up being the official Nelk Boys fighter of the night, even though I was pulling for our boy Josh Friend.
It's all good. If I'm not mistaken, Khalifa Kush sponsors Josh, so he's already winning.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He's winning then. But
speaking of Khalifa Kush, I am still going to be on Schwartzy's Wake and Bake. For all of you who have been asking, I will be on Schwartzy's Wake and Bake. It was supposed to be this Thursday, but you know, Schwartzy's got towns to make and shit. And so he's going to be on a plane. So I figured I will push it back to when Schwartzy comes back to Schwartzy's Wake and Bake. So stay tuned and make sure you subscribe over there. You might see my ugly mug show up soon enough.
I would love to see that. I actually I watched that show, so I would love to see Kyle on there.
I mean, it's already in the works. We were just talking about it with Schwartzy, but see, if you hear this, man, they're already calling for me on Wake and Bake, like I said. So we'll have to make sure that happens, and maybe it'll be time for Schwartzy to make his return over here to the Knockouts and 3 Count show. All right, Donald, them DMAC gummies are the shit. All right, DMAC, next time we're at one of these shows, bro, I got to try some of these fucking gummies, all right? I'm just saying.
I seen Tommy Vendetta take 2 of these gummies 2 weeks ago, and he literally levitated off the ground. I'm not kidding. He levitated, dude. I was like,
so
dude,
that was Chris Angel's secret. He hooked up with DMAC before us.
I think that's what's going on. McCarty's got the goods, bro.
You know, McCarty does got the goods, and we talked all about that with McCarty. So if you haven't already checked that out, make sure you fucking go back and check out Darren McCarty on Knockout.
Great interview. That was a good interview.
Thank you, sir.
Somebody who went on a fucking wild goose chase to find a fucking eighth of his weed so that I could present it on the show, saying that I did my homework. Yeah. You
see how that works? We tell him to watch wrestling and MMA. We'll see what we get. Try some weed, Corey. Fuck it. I had to travel all over and get my shit.
From east, west, north, south, high, low to find said bag. That being said, it lived up to expectations.
See, Donald said if the gummies got him so good, he had a pre-roll. he had a pre-roll and don't even smoke some gummies in the CBD roll-on works for him.
As somebody who procured the bag, it was good. And
fingers.
when we had him on the show, he had noted that was low on his tier of favorites. So that made me even more interested to try what else he had out there in the realm of dispensaries. But
well, and
we'll
I mean,
on a wild juice chase some other time to find some.
I mean, I have also tried some of Darren McCarty stuff, but it wasn't really that hard for me to find like you. But
well, I don't fuck with pre-rolls, man. They charge too goddamn much for somebody to roll my weed for me when I can do a much better job than they do.
I don't know anything of what you're talking about. I'm just telling you I knew where I could find it. But that being
exactly, Kyle, we're Christians.
No, I just work for the government. They're assholes.
Medicinal marijuana in this lovely state of Michigan that I am.
You're right. Except, see, the funny thing is the government still doesn't always follow by those rules. That's the problem. So I neither confirm or deny anything you're talking about. So, yeah. But with that being said, we've been talking about that. The first sponsored athletes for DMAC are our buddy, the Dread King Logan and Zach Thomas of Midwest Scum. So we'll have to talk to them and see if they've got any crazy stories with the CBD gummies like it looks like Donald might have. I'm just saying, it sounds like you had a wild time with D-Max gummies. I'll leave that for another time in another place. But, there was also a UFC card that went down, and so number one, by far, the best fight of that whole fucking card was Julian Erosa versus fucking what is his name? Steven Peterson. Yeah. Oh my God, that was a banger of a fight. But Steven Peterson missed weight, so it comes out. Listen to this though.
Second time in a row.
It comes out that not only obviously he lost not 20% but 30% of his money off rip just for the weight miss, and on top of that, he didn't get his fight of the night bonus. Erosa got both of them. So that means he got his show money, his win money, 30% of his money, and both of the bonus. So that means an extra $100,000 on there. So he took home 5 checks.
Damn.
5 of them bitches.
Good night for him.
You're not kidding.
I actually watched an interview. I forget who it was. I think it was Damon Martin.
He was on with our homie Ryan McKinnell today, man. Check out Ryan on Busted Open and MMA Today. And hey, you can check him out on here too.
He had noted how it feels very nice to come upon that kind of money, especially because of his opponent's missteps.
No shit, it's nice to come along that money. I'd like that money too. Shit.
It was noted going into this fight that they had some Twitter beef and stuff back and forth. They were kind of snapping at each other and both called each other out type shit and both wanted to fight. Julian Erosa was going apparently a little bit harder on Twitter towards him, trying to get the fight to actually happen. And then you get it to play out that way where you not only defeat the guy that you were talking shit to, but you take his money both ways, from his bonus and from straight out of his pocket. That's
amazing.
I feel like it's kind of fucked up they took the fight of the night bonus part away. Like, I'm totally okay with them taking his money because of the weight miss, but he still had to get in there. It takes 2 to tango, and that was the best fight of the night. Like, to take away his fight of the night bonus, I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. So this dude is getting paid for somebody else's work too.
What did he actually get paid for?
He got paid his show money. He got paid his show money.
He got 70%.
70% of his show money.
Yeah, he didn't even get his full show money. So really, he probably is gonna end up probably coming out close to negative in that fight, I bet.
Yeah. And he took a good beating too.
Dude, it was such a damn good fight, though. That's what I'm saying.
He put up his. Julian Erosa definitely won the fight, in my opinion, for sure. But Steven Peterson definitely had his moments in there. He actually almost had a finish a couple.
He's
of times.
Definitely. This ain't the last time we've heard of him at all. They beat the shit out of each other.
Well, he better make weight next time, or he's gonna be poor as fuck.
Hey, man, and I'm the first one to say that. Anyone that's followed the show for any length of time has heard me say ad nauseum. Like, one of my number one things that I can't stand, we hear everybody always talking about our locker room etiquette and people talking about bring your own wrist tape and wash your balls and keep your baby mama out of the locker room. Well, one of my biggest pet peeves is I can't stand when a motherfucker don't make weight. I'm just saying, I can't stand when a motherfucker don't make weight. Because being the guy that's had to fight against a guy that's bigger because of that kind of shit, it's just bullshit. You know, I mean, at the same time, the guy missed weight, and I do believe there needs to be a penalty. I'm totally okay with you doing 30. Hell, even if even if you move it up to 40, that's a lot of money. I feel like the bonus money he should have still got, just simply for the fact of, in order for that fight to be so good, it can't be that good without the other half of it.
But I get it though, because then what if somebody intentionally misses weight on a 15?
Well, I mean, if somebody starts making a pattern of the shit, that's different, though.
Hear me out here, but they miss weight on a 15 contract, but they go in there and just lay somebody out because they didn't have to do most of the work, came in 4 or 5 pounds over and just laid somebody out, collected the 50,000, which was more than the 30 they would have got either way from show and win, and called it a day. I get why they do it that way. They do not want to incentivize whatsoever.
No, and it shouldn't be. Like I said, people always say, I don't understand why people get so mad about people missing weight. Dude, that's like one of the most disrespectful things you can do to somebody, because I had to fucking suffer. I had to cut all this weight. I had to stop myself from eating shit I didn't want to eat. I had to deal with what it does to your body. And then for you to come in and miss weight like that and then still get the fight, that pissed you off. I mean, look, I don't got no shame in it. The only time I ever got knocked out was by a guy that was 20 pounds heavier than me, and I never should have fought the fucking guy. Yeah. But that was my dumbass fault. That's why anyone that says, oh, weight doesn't matter if you can fight, bullshit.
It just boils down to, right, there's two things that readily change on a bout agreement. For the most part, everything else stays the same. Opponent and weight. And if you can't make the one thing that is like a determining factor on your end, which is the weight, you don't determine the opponent, you just determine the weight, then what the fuck? I mean, I get it. And it's a huge thing in MMA that these guys are trying to suck down to the next weight class down. And that's another thing. I don't mean to harp on Steven Peterson in this example, but he's a former 135er, did fairly decent there, moves up to featherweight, so now he's 10 pounds heavier and has now missed weight in his featherweight debut and his sophomore fight. Not a great look, man. Not a great look. That's all I'm trying to say. It just doesn't look like you're trying.
So Corey clearly doesn't want this man to get his $50,000. Chase, Jordan, what do you think about the $50,000? Did he earn the $50,000, or should he have to give it to him?
I'm not super familiar with this. Did he got his whole bonus taken away, not 30% of it?
They took away 30% of his bonus, and then they won fight of the night, so they each got an extra $50,000. But because he missed weight, they took his bonus and gave it to the other guy.
The whole bonus?
Yeah.
Yeah, complete.
So he got 30% of his show money taken away, and he got the entire $50,000 bonus got given to his opponent.
It's not a new thing. It's not like they set precedents, though. They just literally, you're not bonus eligible if you miss weight.
But his opponent gets the whole 100,000.
Yeah. Okay, it is what it is.
I'm good with it.
I mean, like I said, no one's ever gonna hear me defend somebody for not making weight because I hate that shit. It really bothers me. But I just was like, damn, this man didn't even get the fight of the night bonus. If that doesn't like put a spark in your ass, like, hey, I need to get my shit together because I'm putting together these good fights and now I'm costing myself some money. I mean, I don't know what the fuck's going to.
I hate to like say it as in taking any money out of somebody's pocket, right? Because I want the best for everybody, especially these fighters, man, that put on shows for us. But one man's loss is another man's treasure in this circumstance for sure. You just you know what you got to do, and it's unfortunate, but next time when you're not wanting to sweat those extra couple pounds out in the sauna, you got some real motivation to think about now.
Now, to be fair though, you say that, but as somebody who's done the weight cut, to be fair to homie, You
I
know,
did weight-
sometimes
no,
you
I
get
did
to those
weight
last
cuts.
3 pounds and you can't suck any
Yeah.
out though. When you do water cuts like they're doing, sometimes it just gets like that. But when you do it that many times, you're starting to run yourself to a pattern.
I may have not been a fighter. I may not have been a high school wrestler, collegiate level wrestler, nothing along those lines, right? But I was a 6-footer at 12 years old, 11 and a half years old, who played Pee Wee football. It was captain of my team, played on both sides of the ball. I felt as though I needed to be out there, and there was weight limits in football at that time. And being somebody of my height, I wasn't super thick or nothing like that. I was just tall. I've always been tall, and
He was
force
thick,
my,
dude.
I literally had to make sure that I like timed out my shits. I had to make sure I took a piss. I had to make sure I took like a fat piss. before
I'm
I
just
got
saying
on
the kind of
scale.
weight cuts we're
And-
talking about are 2 different things. Is all I'm saying.
No, as a 12-year-old kid.
You were
I
not
had
cutting
to-
40
I had
pounds
to-
at 12 when we were 12,
no,
dog.
Not 40 pounds, but I was legitimately cutting 12 pounds every week to make sure I made weight to play football. And then the games that I couldn't play, I had to deal with the consequences, and that shit sucked. That
No,
shit
I agree
really
with that.
sucked.
I was just
So
saying, like, it
it's-
wasn't like 30-pound cuts and shit.
No, yeah, but the difference between fighting and football is I was doing it week in, week out, right? So I had to literally be on every Friday to be able to play, like that morning. And so I do have some experience in weight cutting, even though it wasn't a, fighter experience.
See, Donald's got the
It's
idea.
very
Just eat
similar,
all the Krispy Kremes.
It sounds rough. Weight cut sounds rough. I mean, I probably never lost weight
Dude,
in my
I
life.
used to
let's
run
be
around
honest,
in
but-
trash bags with hoodie and
But
sweatpants on. And
I couldn't imagine, dude. This the shit I seen. It looks like it sucks.
try getting down to 125.
Yeah.
Shit, only time I think I've ever lost weight is when I had the flu.
Yeah, me too. And I never put it back. I used to be around 155. Now I'm over here fucking being, that's why these guys are coming up to us at the show saying, bro, you look so much bigger in the motherfucking camera.
As somebody, I know we have many topics to talk about, but as somebody who's struggled their whole fucking life of being too skinny, finally hitting the healthy weight of 205 consistently, I'm so glad that I got a little older and don't just have the fastest metabolism in the fucking world.
That's awesome,
Just wanna
bro.
throw that out there.
No, I'm happy for you. I thought you looked fat, but that's fine, bro.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
I
I'm
was
not
too skinny.
Don't let
throughout
Corey
high
lie to you,
school.
bro.
I'm
Just
happy.
like I was a
too
gumpy
skinny.
motherfucker, Corey was a chubby
Yeah.
motherfucker when we was
I'm
growing up.
happy.
I
I'm
was
happy.
skinny.
Shit, when we were kids?
My whole teenage life, I was fucking
I
skinny.
said, you gotta
My
remember,
whole
fool, I met you when I was 11. We weren't even in middle school yet.
Yeah, then I was a little thick.
Yeah.
At like 8 till 10 is when I got a little taller. Is when I thinned up. At about 10. But either way, we've been talking about a whole bunch of dumb shit. Let's get some quick thoughts.
The last
I know,
thing I got on the docket, dude, to be honest with you, I mean, really, the last thing I got on the docket is just, I mean, I was doing my due diligence and stuff, and I saw that Max Holloway has already signed himself up to, be the alternate for this Volkanovski fight. And the question that I want to pose to you guys is that, here's the thing. So Holloway was the original person supposed to fight Volkanovski. I think we can all agree here that as far as 145 goes, that's the fight everybody wants to see. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, even though Holloway, quote unquote, lost to Volk twice, Holloway's already went and beat the shit out of everybody else there was to beat the shit out of. Like, I mean, to me, that's the only fight left to make it 145. And so Ryan filled in for other fellow past guests of the chef, past guest to the chef, Jimmy Smith from Monday Night Raw. He was filling in for him on Unlocking the Cage, and we were talking about it, and as well as Anthony Smith, and Anthony Smith said that he thinks that they should just take Holloway and put him in the fight, and then Zombie can be the alternate and still get paid the $60,000 or whatever you get paid to be the alternate. What do you think about, now that Holloway says that he's cleared to fight? Do you think it should still be Zombie, or do you think Holloway gets to fight? Because I'm pretty sure, with there being a contract, I'd imagine at this point that's why that fight's not going to get changed, because UFC probably could be in some trouble legal wise. But what are your thoughts on this fight and the news of Holloway coming back to the UFC?
Well, not only like the whole contract thing and stuff like that, right? But realistically, as much as I would love to see Max step in and the whole thing play out, Max probably doesn't necessarily. Max is a gamer, right? He'll accept the fight. He wants the fight. Don't get me wrong. But depending on what this injury was, because it was an undisclosed injury, but it was clearly serious enough where he was like, I'm not eligible to fight in this fight. There's no way I'm going to be ready by March, April, nothing like that. But now all of a sudden he's clear and he's willing to step in. So does that just mean he wants to get a payday or something along those lines, or the competitive spirits? But
I don't see that with Holloway. I think he genuinely wants that belt back.
What I'm saying though is I want to see Max at 100% when he goes into this matchup. I don't want to see any like, oh, I had my lingering shoulder tear or something that we didn't know about or something along those lines. If he's going to do it.
Okay, well then let's say this then. So since they've got him as the alternate, would you rather him be the alternate in this case, or would you rather him be the alternate in this case, or would you rather see him fight somebody in the interim? Because if I'm being honest, especially with him getting hurt, if I'm Holloway, this is one of the few times I would ever say, sit and wait. But fuck fighting. Fuck fighting. I'm telling him I want my damn title shot. Either give me a fucking title shot. I mean, he's basically won the number one contender, 3 times now?
Yeah. I mean, realistically, yeah. Won it 3 times over, and then
I'm just saying,
arguably deserved the matchup immediately. Like you could make so many arguments for it. But yeah, no, I don't think he should step in a matchup sense. I don't think they should,
I think his next fight needs to be for whoever wins that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 100% the move. Except if Zombie wins, realistically, they got to run Volk back. Volk's been at such.
What if he just kills him? No, they don't. If Zombie comes in there and kills him, which I don't think is going to happen, but if Zombie comes in there and knocks his ass out or something, they don't.
You say big no like that, Chase. I had to look it up because I was telling Kyle about this, how Volkanovski doesn't necessarily get a lot of respect from just the MMA fans in general. And dude is on a, like, what did I say, Kyle, 21 fight win streak?
Yeah.
22 fight win streak or some shit. Like, in 7 or 8 of those fights have been in the UFC, and all against, like, top-level talent. It wasn't like it took him a while to step towards the top. He was immediately fighting, like, the likes of Jose Aldo, Chad Mendez and stuff. He has a real streak, and whether or not you think he won those Holloway fights, his streak before that and after that even, it is worthy of an immediate rematch, in my opinion, if he does lose to somebody like Zombie.
But what if he gets just smoked out there though?
I mean,
that's why I'm saying, like, if he gets knocked the fuck out, no, he doesn't.
But I don't.
What if he just gets worked? What if he gets worked the whole fight?
I could, not the only way, right? Because Zombie clearly has power in his hands, right? Like we've seen that on many occasions. But a lot of people sleep on Zombie's jiu-jitsu, man. Korean Zombie. He was originally known as the guy that did the first twister in the UFC. The guy that.
Can I just tell you how hard it really is to do those for any of you that don't know?
And to hit it in a fight and so on and so forth. So
fuck a fight. Hitting it, period, is a pain in the ass, let alone in a UFC fight.
This is all I'm saying, Corey. Immediate rematch. Maybe Volkanovski's next fight would be for the title, but I think they would do Max. They would give Max the title shot, let Volkanovski chill, and then Volk versus Max, but Max is the champion again. That would be so epic.
That would be wild. That would be wild.
That'd be so epic. I mean, they're not going to let Max sit that long. So
I agree with you. I've been hearing about Shawback making his return, Donald, to BKFC. I've been hearing him talk about that he's got something lined up for them. Hell, if he's going to go pick a fight with Chad Mendez and Bare Knuckle, all I'm going to say is he better have that head movement on point because that guy's got power in his hands. And, you know, if he hits him, I mean, look, I was a big Chad Money Mendez fan, but me and him still got a little bit of problems since he beat up my buddy. But, yeah, I don't know that I'd want to be the first one to welcome him into Bare Knuckle FC. Now, he could just get starched and that be the end of it, but we'll have to see what happens because actually I take that back. He can't be the first one for he can't be the next one for Chad Mendez because Chad Mendez is already set up for Knuckle Mania, which is about to commence here.
He's fighting a very semi-level famous rapper named Fames, who's
Mendez is?
Yes, that's his debut in BKFC. Is this guy named Fames?
I heard that. I heard that Chad Mendez is making like $600,000.
That's one.
Oh,
thing.
dude, don't get it twisted, dog. Like for them to go over there, he's getting paid like a motherfucker, dude.
I was gonna wait for the whole topic to play out on the last one, but yeah, that was one thing I was actually gonna bring up was money. And talking about money, Chad Mendez comes out and talks about the fact that he's making more in his first BKFC fight than at least what the disclosed purse was for Francis Ngannou in his title defense in the last UFC bout, which is absolutely insane. I'm sure he's making back end with pay-per-view points and so on and so forth, but even if Chad Mendez, love Chad Mendez, always been a huge fan. He deserves to get paid, especially to anybody doing bare knuckle. That shit's, you know, there's a reason why you go do it, and more often than not.
You know who else needs to get paid, but not for bare knuckle? Paige Van Zandt needs to come over to wrestling. You heard it here first.
Ooh.
Just saying.
But
I feel you.
But it's wild, man. Go ahead, Chase. I want to hear your thoughts on Paige and wrestling because she's done decent.
I'm just saying, I got no problem seeing Paige on my TV any time of the day. Just saying, and
she could be good. I mean, we're talking about she probably has barely any training whatsoever, so she could be good. I feel you. I thought I love the topic of money. I would love to talk about a little bit about fighter pay because it's such a hot topic. I think that maybe we should talk about like indie wrestling pay, maybe a little bit. Like, here's just a random example. I didn't plan this at all. J-Bone, my homie J-Bone, he came to a Horror Slam show, and him and a few of my friends and my spouse, they all bought the tables, like the good seats, that I wanted to show them. I was in one of the premier matches versus MM3, sponsored by our great fan. His name's Greg Clayton. He's a really good fan. He's out here sponsoring matches. That was awesome. Apparently he sponsored MM3 because I didn't get paid for that. So let's talk about pay. Let's talk about the pay for these shows. It's actually sickening. I'm really getting sick of hearing about this. When I worked for Horror Slam, that's why you don't see me working for them anymore. I didn't get paid. I shouldn't have to beg you to pay me. I draw. It's a fact that I draw. Like I said, all the tables that were sold that night were all people that came to see me. My second match, I wrestled for Horror Slam. I actually broke a couple of my toes. Actually broke a couple of my toes in that match, and I didn't get paid for that either. Isn't it? So, I think people need to realize that some of these guys are seeing out there. Here's an example. I will not name any names. I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble, but there's a group of guys who wrestle for Horror Slam in these shows around here who've been in the business for like a year, but they've been doing really well. And so they're actually promoted on the posters in these premier matches. In these premier matches, I recently just had heard through the grapevine that these guys are also not getting paid. And I think the fans deserve to know that these guys are out here asking to bleed during a match and they're not getting paid for it for no reason. There's zero reason behind it. These guys are drawing 200 people, for $30 a pop. I think fans just think that because they like somebody that they're getting treated fairly. And guess what? They're probably not, dude. Just like with the UFC fighters, we have these, we talk about this every week, the fighter pay. This is happening in our area. That's why you don't see me wrestle at all these different promotions. The promotions that you do see me work for, they're treating their guys right. I'm telling you that right now. You're not going to see me at a promotion more than once. They might trick me once, you ain't getting me again. If you see Uncle Chase at a show, they're taking care of you. They're taking care of the boys in the back. They're taking care of the fans and stuff. This might be random to say, but it's not fair that these guys are not getting paid. I don't think that the fans know this. Like I said, Greg, he sponsored my match and I still didn't get money. I bet you he thought that I was getting it. I don't know what they did with it. These business practices, they need to go. We're drawing hundreds of fans of shows now. We're not drawing 20. Okay. There's money to be made. And a lot of these guys are setting up the shows and tearing them down on a Thursday night when you do a GCW versus Horror Slam show. And you're tearing down the ring on a Thursday, and you're home at 2 a.m., dude, because they have 14 matches on their show. So you get home at 2 a.m. You got to go to work the next day. You're not asking for Friday off. So you got to go into work the next day, and guess what? You didn't get any pay, but you did get a saw to your head. And I get a year in, humble yourself, pay your dues. But how about pay your dudes that you're employing? I guarantee you the fans don't know that this is happening, and I'm here to shed the light on it because you know what? You ain't gonna blackball me. I'm unblackballable. I'm the Alliance champion, bro. I'm a superstar. It is what it is. I don't, I'm only gonna wrestle for so much longer, so I feel the need to stick up for the boys in the back and let them know that you don't have to deal with this stuff. If you aren't getting paid when you are drawing seats, and then you need to not work for there, and the fans need to not support that place. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. If you are an indie wrestling fan, you should probably figure out the guys that I'm talking about, guys that you go and pay and see and expect that they're getting paid. I guarantee you that they are not. That's all I really had to say, since we were talking about fighter pay so much. The promotions I am working for coming up, they are paying me, and they're paying me really nice. So I appreciate you guys very much. Thanks for giving me a platform to talk about it, because I just feel like the fans deserve to know this. Like, a lot of these guys are still paying their dues, but they're drawing the tickets. So what's going on with that?
Yeah, I could understand maybe first day in the door or something, not getting paid, or maybe like you had even noted, like a small lump sum, like, $20 for your time or something, for something. I mean,
even just gas money. You got to think some of these shows are far.
When you talk about not only ticket sales, right? Like, you bring up that number, concessions. The amount of beer that these wrestling fans are consuming, I'm well aware, because at every show I go to, I manage to squeeze about.
Corey's pulling old Stone Cold.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. That night we went to GCW. The night we went to GCW, I spent more on drinks for all the boys than I did on paying for a ticket.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
All that stuff.
Dude, you were balling when we went to GCW. This motherfucker was buying them left and right.
Hey, man.
To show, support the guys you like, buy merch from these guys,
right? That
really
helps so much.
Hey man, get out there and buy you some merch. Get you some Knockouts and 3 Counts merch. Get you some Uncle Chase merch. Get you some J-Bone Show merch. Get you some shit. But yeah, man, we've flapped our gums for quite a little bit. You said you wanted a little bit of a platform to say what you needed to say, and like I always say on this show, we ain't scared of shit. Like I said,
appreciate you.
I give people a platform on this motherfucker. They know the facts. Y'all know the facts. That's between y'all. My name's Paul. This is Saul. And make sure you hit that motherfucking subscribe button so you don't miss it all this Thursday. Because guess what? I mean, I smashed tacos beforehand, but I'm ready to just chill the fuck out. So I think I've flapped my gums enough. Donald and all of you guys that were checking us out tonight, we greatly appreciate you. Make sure you check us out this Thursday, because you don't know who might be in that Zoom box. It might just be a guy fresh into the UFC. But without any further ado, Uncle Chase, thanks for the time, brother man.
Thank you guys for real, because some people were too shook to have me on their podcast.
Ooh.
I'm just saying,
Hey.
quite a few of these podcasts guys were a little too shook to have me on. They don't want the heat.
Well, the news is now out there, so hopefully they change their opinions now that they're not going to be the ones breaking it, because the message does need to go out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. Like you say, guys are risking life, limb, and broken toe to put on these shows for us. So
you know what they say, man. If you're good at something, never do it for free. Never do it for free. And Uncle Chase.
Well, then what the fuck? I'd like to think that we're pretty good at this thing, and I'm not getting paid yet. But hey,
coming, man.
You're okay.
Hey, a little. Hey, man, I've been doing that for 5 years already. But a little birdie told me that something might be coming to a stream near you soon. You know, those things. What are they called? They're called sponsors, and you give them the potential and all those things. Well, hey. I heard that there might be a sponsor. So guess what that means? Uncle Chase knows all about this. Corey doesn't, and J-Bone doesn't because they're new to it. But that means that my amazing commercial reads get to come back, and they'll come out of absolutely nowhere. Because Conrad, like Devin likes to say, I'm coming for the motherfucking belt with a tear in my eye. I'm hitting the end of this broadcast. See you this Thursday.